Hey, it's Bob Mines. I'm calling from. I got a bus down here at Fort Myers Beach, and I get over here, the weather's just, there's nobody here, and I don't know what waters keep coming up. I can't fucking swim. The cops come over and say, hey, go home, and I said, fuck you, I ain't go. But there ain't even nobody around with cigarettes. And maybe you guys can give me a ride. You can call me back or hit me on my cash app. It's Mark 874. And you can hear the boat's a piece of shit. I don't know if you can hear me. It's breaking. And you have it Fort Beach and I'll be in. And the bus is gone and what the fuck? And I can't. If you guys could just, a little bit of help would be good. And fuck these mother. They're all fucking fat.
You're listening to the Fat Hog Podcast with BareAss and The Bomb.
All right, we are here. We are back.
And we are alive.
We are alive. The hurricane is over.
Yes.
And, yeah.
Although there is a second one coming. Or the start of one.
Is there?
Yeah, right at the tip of the flaccid penis.
There's another hurricane coming?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a tropical storm. It's some storm entity out there right now coming.
No shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, about another week or so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we got another one.
Yeah.
Well, the hurricanes are coming. It's coming from the east. And I hope that we don't lose power fucking again, because it sucked.
Yeah. Listen, you get used to the creature comforts of being, I don't know, alive.
Yeah. So, for all of you out there listening, we hope that you made it through the hurricane.
Yes.
Because we survived.
We did.
We did go without power or internet for 5 days.
You know what, though? I actually almost died. So.
Oh, yeah, you did almost die.
Yeah, because I don't have fucking power to run my machine.
Right, because you got to have a breathing machine at night. Because of...
Fat.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because of fat.
It's a weight problem.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyways. But other than that, other than almost dying like that, I mean, nothing else really happened.
I mean, yeah, we didn't flood. We didn't have any damage. Everywhere around town did. Everywhere was flooded and full of trees and shit.
Well, we got that little bit of damage, but nothing, nothing,
Yeah, I
mean, a piece of the
trim of the outside of the house.
Yeah.
And what's funny is it came off, and I looked at it, and I was like, that shit's rotten as fuck.
Right. So it normally wouldn't have come off. So
I had an interesting altercation, sort of, or a conversation, let's say, at work today.
Yeah.
Because the company that I work for has, we do concrete and we do electrical, right? So on the side of our truck, it says concrete and electrical.
Yeah.
And I just happened to be in somebody's backyard, in the flood zone, mind you, putting in forms for a concrete patio, and all their neighbors are flooded. They're up on a little hill, so they're not, but all their neighbors are, and nobody's got any power, right? So this guy comes, there's a fence, but the fence is like part of it's ripped down from the hurricane, right?
Right.
So he walks up to the opening. He's like, "Hey, man, what's happening, man? When y'all gonna have that power back on?" And I was like, "I have no idea, bro. I'm here doing concrete work. I ain't got nothing to do with the power."
Right.
He's like, "Hey, come on, man. Your truck says electrical on it." I said, "Yeah, we're electricians too, and we ain't got nothing to do with the power company."
Right.
Yeah, man, y'all be bullshitting. Y'all be bullshitting, motherfuckers. I know y'all be talking to each other. Y'all all work together and shit. Y'all be feeding me a bunch of bullshit, lying ass motherfucker. Until you want that power bill money. Once you want that power bill money, then you be giving me some information, huh? And I was like, look, bro, I don't work for the power company. I have no idea about your power bill or when the power is going to be on. I have no idea. I'm literally here installing a patio. He's just, yeah, come on, man. You full of shit. I know all y'all work together, motherfucking ass, lying ass, cracker. Right? And I'm just like, I said, listen, man, I'm just going to be straightforward with you. Oh no! So I didn't. First, he's like, man, I ain't even gonna pay that power bill. Fuck y'all. I ain't even gonna pay that power bill. You can't have my power on. I ain't gonna pay shit.
That's great.
And that's when I was like, hey, listen, man, let me just. I'll be straightforward with you, right? If you don't pay that power bill, we ain't never turning your power back on. And he looked at me all crazy, like, oh shit, I done caught this motherfucker when I talked about money. And he was just like, yeah, y'all better get that power back on. I ain't gonna pay that bill. And I was like, listen, man, just if you don't pay that power bill, you're gonna have to switch over to Spectrum. Spectrum electricity. You don't want nothing to do with no Spectrum power. And he was like, oh shit, man, I got Spectrum internet. That internet suck. It's slow as hell. They power probably slow as hell too.
Nuh-uh, for real?
Bro, I'm trying so hard not to die laughing. And what's great about this is the whole time I'm having this conversation, there's like 6 linemen out there working on the power, like on the power poles, and they hear this conversation, they don't say a word. They're just sitting there. You can see them kind of like smirking and shit, chuckling amongst themselves, but they ain't saying shit. Of course. And he's like, no, dog, I don't want that Spectrum power. That shit probably slow as hell, just like their internet. And I was like, he's like, so if I pay that power right now, y'all, if I pay that shit right now, y'all gonna turn my electric back on? I said, look, man, no promises, but I'll make a couple calls for you and let him know. Be like, hey, man, this dude just paid his bill. Let's get it back on. Now, mind you, he didn't tell me his name. He didn't tell me his address. He didn't tell me shit. Right? So he just, even if I was telling the truth, he didn't give me no information like,
that's great.
You know, hey, fucking Dave Johnson just paid his fucking power bill. Can we get that? Like, he didn't tell me
you should have just been like, look, just let me get your full name, social security number, mother's maiden name.
Right.
Let me just get all the information from you, so we make sure that we get the right person turned back.
So I tell him I'm gonna make a couple phone calls, and we can see what we can get done here. But I said, for real, you're using that Spectrum internet? He was like, yeah, man. I said, man, when you call and pay that bill, I said, you gonna call? He said, yeah. I'm gonna call right now and pay with my debit card. I got one in prepaid debit.
Nice.
I said, all right. I said, listen, when you call them, I said, ask them about the internet. It's Duke Energy. Ask him about their internet. He goes, oh, for real? I said, yeah, bro, you're using that Spectrum, man. That Spectrum shit sucks. I said, Duke's got the fastest internet. I said, they'll lie to you on the phone. They don't want everybody to know. It's like a secret. I said, but so when you ask about internet, they're going to be like, no, we don't have internet. Like, no, I already talked to your guy, man. Yeah, tell him you already talked to the guy. You know they got it. They got the fastest internet around. It runs right through the electrical cable.
That's great.
I said, so make sure you ask them about that. Don't let them bullshit you. Don't let them lie to you because they're going to try. That shit's a secret. He's like, oh, for real, man? Good looking out. I'm going to go pay that shit right now. So, yeah, pay it. Pay it right now. We'll get you hooked up. And he ran back into his house all excited and shit.
That's awesome.
It's like, look, man, I tried to tell this dude like fucking 5 times. I ain't got nothing to do with the power company. I don't know when the power's going to be back on. And, you know, I forgot. I forgot how this conversation started. I completely forgot about that. He comes outside, right, and the linemen are there working because there is a giant oak tree across the power lines. I completely forgot about that, right? Right. Giant oak tree across the power lines, and the conversation started with, hey man, you think that tree right there, that's why the power ain't working? And I looked at it, and I looked at him. I said, no, man, I don't think so. I don't think that's got anything to do with it at all. It's just laying on the lines. I don't see why I make them not work. He goes, yeah, that's what I said. When y'all gonna get that power turned back on? That's how. And then the conversation started from there. But it literally started with him coming out and asking me if I thought that tree laying across the lines was why the power wasn't on.
That's epic, bro.
And I just looked at him and said, no, I don't see why. Don't seem like no issue to me. What the fuck?
Why is it that hurricanes make people stupid? It's like all common sense goes out of the fucking window.
Bro, it ain't just hurricanes that make people stupid.
Listen,
let's be fair.
Okay, listen. So Thursday morning was about 9:15, 9:30. We went out and still like 80-mile-an-hour winds when it was fucking raining. Yeah. Me and you went out in the truck because you needed cigarettes to try to find something open.
Yeah.
So coming back home after we driving through the fucking our city, not too far, because the wind was crazy. Thankfully, you got a big ass, heavy ass trout.
Hell yeah.
And
Heavy like your mom.
she was. She was a heavy bitch. Anyways, so just my mom would have loved that joke. By the way, don't get all fucking butthurt about it. So,
She did lose a lot of weight.
she needs some lotion. Though. I heard she's ashy. For those who don't know, that's a great joke because my mom has been cremated.
Correct.
Not while she was alive. That'd be murder. She died first.
At least we think. We think she died first.
So
They said she was dead. None of us actually poked her to make sure, but
I think the doctor poked. Never mind. Anyways, so
yeah, that was before she died, bro.
then there was the mortician. Anyways, so coming back home, still in like this 80 mile an hour wind, 70, 80 mile an hour wind. We're kind of being blown kind of on the road. We're on the back road over here.
No, I was being blown. I was driving. You were in the passenger seat.
Yeah, my jaw still hurts. But so the neighbor across, I'll call him a neighbor. He's like 2 blocks over and like west of us. He's out there, no shoes, no shirt, raking his yard.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I forgot about that
He's
guy.
fucking raking his yard. People are driving past him. The wind. I mean, you're still like whole ass tree branches like blowing down the road.
Oh, yeah. It's
the
like,
rain is fucking coming sideways, feeling like
and he
bullets
was
hitting you.
fucking raking.
And he's raking, not like up by his house. He's down by the road trying to clear out like around his mailbox.
Right, but you said the hurricane made people stupider.
It does. Come on, bro.
That guy was that stupid before the hurricane, I guarantee it. I guarantee it.
Probably.
I did learn something about this hurricane, though.
Yeah.
That when we went to the store to try to get supplies and shit, just to have some stuff here. First of all, this proves that people are stupid even before the hurricane.
Probably. Yeah.
Why is all the water sold out? Does everybody know what a hurricane is? It's a giant fucking ball of water. I think I said that last
we
time.
talked about this last podcast.
But here's the other thing I don't understand. Why is all the toilet paper sold out? Are you going to shit more? Because it's a hurricane, you have to shit more? Like, you need all the toilet paper?
You're right. So, you know what, though? It kind of makes sense a little bit. And first of all, who's out of that much toilet paper at their house? You know what I mean?
Well, that's my point is, okay, hurricane comes, it hits. Usually, we've been through these before. Most of the time, it's like a week max, right?
Yeah.
So, you need 7 fucking giant cases of toilet paper to last a week?
Right.
Like, normally, that giant case of toilet paper probably get you through about 2 weeks, right? And
well, it depends on how many people's in your house. You know what I mean? If you buy a 30-pack of toilet paper...
A 30-pack of toilet paper should last 5 people for fucking at least 2 weeks. At least 2 weeks. These motherfuckers are buying all of them. Right. It's a hurricane. You need fucking 750 rolls of toilet paper. Like, everybody's just going to shit.
Well, now you see what we're running into is supply issues. Now we're getting to a situation where we were talking about it earlier today, or last couple of days, is, shipments here for food and supplies are getting rerouted to the places that need them. But honestly, think about it, if these people are getting...
I don't understand that either.
We still need shit.
Yeah, now we don't need to eat because they were in a fucking... They had it worse than we did?
What the fuck are people in Fort Lauderdale and all that stuff?
It's not Fort Lauderdale. That's on the East Coast. Fort Myers.
What do they need Publix fried chicken for? They can't even get the Publix. Well, we just want some fried chicken, damn it.
I fucking agree. And Wendy's, they're out of all sodas except for cherry Coke. So Wendy's sent and they were like, well, they're sending all the supplies down south. All of a sudden, there's a high demand for fucking soda in Fort Myers.
Don't you think that's kind of counterproductive to what the people need down there? They need water, not sodas that dry your fucking mouth out.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah,
they're sending everything down there. Listen, don't get me wrong. Fort Myers and Naples, it got hit really bad. I saw a bunch of the pictures. I saw, one guy had his Bugatti was stuck in his yacht. That was really sad. And then there was another family. It was a guy and his wife and their 3 kids. And they had to leave their 22,000 square foot home and go stay in their 15,000 square foot condo for the weekend because the hurricane was hitting, or on Wednesday because the hurricane was going to hit.
That's so horrible.
And that was sad. And then, so it's devastating down there what's happened. All these people have these, multi-million-dollar homes and yachts and stuff that have been destroyed, and the insurance is going to buy them all brand new ones, and that's sad.
Yeah.
That's sad, but
sending all of our supplies down there.
I don't understand if they realize or not, but the rest of us, don't get me wrong, a lot of people fucking died, and I've seen some legit pictures where shit is fucked up down there. Houses removed from the slab, and it is a devastating situation. However, I would be likely to say that places like where we live, where nobody's rich,
right,
or most people aren't, we almost suffer more than they do because, okay, yeah, your multi-million-dollar beachside house and your yacht and your Bugatti and your Mercedes-Benz have all been destroyed, and now your insurance is going to buy you new ones. Where us here that didn't have that much damage but were out of work for a week and had to spend $700 on fucking gas for a generator, we might be hurting more than you are right now.
Right.
I know you're sad and you have to stay in your condo or in a fucking luxury hotel for the next month,
right,
or whatever the situation is while you wait on that insurance money, but we're here with no damage and no fucking money.
Right.
Like, I just spent every dime I have paying the rent 3 days late because I didn't work for a week because of the hurricane, and I spent a bunch of money on gas and supplies that I could afford. Right. And now I don't know what we're going to do.
And honestly, like,
I don't have a check coming from FEMA or from insurance.
And even like, and as fucked up as it sounds, like, I don't have a lot of money, but not working, and then there was no grocery stores open. So really the only thing that was open was like fast food places.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't have any power.
Right.
So if we wanted to eat, we had to go buy expensive ass fast food. And
yep.
I don't know if you know this.
Well, we barbecued.
But I'm fat.
We barbecued.
And I eat a lot.
So, I mean, I cooked out on the grill. I got a little gas grill.
Once we found something, and once, we cooked the food that we had.
Right. We cooked the food that we had, and then we had to. Well, what killed me, and so I bought. What killed the situation was I went out beforehand and I said, okay, I'm going to get a bunch of food for the hurricane because we could be without power for a couple of days. I didn't know my teenage kids were coming over. I have 2 teenagers, and their mother and stepfather decided to go to a shelter, which is hilarious. But they decided to go to a shelter. Okay, cool. So the twins didn't want to go, obviously. They're 16, so they came to my house.
Right.
Well, I didn't expect them. So they came Wednesday... they came Tuesday, right? Tuesday night. Everything closed Tuesday at like 6 o'clock so people could go home and get ready for the hurricane.
Right.
Oh, so I didn't expect them. So I didn't buy food for them. I bought food for just like me and I have a 2-year-old and the wife. And that was it. And if you fucking didn't have nothing.
Right.
I didn't expect for the supplies that I had gotten to be gone in 48 hours because they were here, and I felt bad because I yelled at my daughter.
Yeah.
Like, because I made a big-ass pot of rice and tuna, right? I threw a bunch of seasoning shit in, and it's like, hey, we got rice, we got tuna, this will feed everybody, it's going to be a lot. And I said, when I brought it in, I said, look, this got to feed all of us, right? I mean, I said it was a big-ass pot, but still, it was enough to feed 5 people.
Right.
How many were here? Like 6 people, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 of us.
Right.
With the baby. And my daughter fucking makes a fucking bowl, like, it's like half the pot. And I was like, Kaylin, what the fuck? And she's like, what? I said, this has to feed everybody. And she looked at me all sad and shit. And I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, I felt bad because I was just like, I didn't know you guys were coming, or I would have bought 4 times the food.
Right.
But so then, of course, at that point, then, we had to try to go out and find some food somewhere after everything was gone. And grocery store, like you said, grocery stores were out of everything. So it was buying fast food or whatever they had at the gas station, which I got gouged like a motherfucker at the gas station. Did I not?
Yeah, you did.
Bro, I bought 4 egg rolls because that's what they had. I bought 4 fucking egg rolls, 2 canned coffee drinks, 2 packs of cigarettes, and a bag of Doritos. $68.
Yeah.
I was like, what? And they were just like, sorry, that's the prices corporate put in. We don't make the prices. All I do is charge you. It wasn't like an Indian store or anything like a privately owned. It was a fucking racetrack gas station.
Yeah.
And they were just like, yep, sorry, cash only.
Yeah, of
Our
course.
computer systems are down. So I don't know if she was bullshitting and pocketing the extra cash. That's probably what she was doing. That lady, there was only one lady working in there. She was probably gouging the shit out of everybody and just at the end of the night counting her drawer or whatever was over, sticking in her fucking pocket.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
a thing, bro.
Yeah, I mean, hey.
That's a thing. These 7-Eleven employees be bullshitting all the time with them points. Like, you know, you get the points at the 7-Eleven, you put your phone number in.
Yeah.
Bro, you know how many times I've went to the one at the land, and they don't even ask me about my points or nothing. They just ring my shit up, and then fucking the little screen comes up to type in the points, and boom, 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 it's gone before I can even type my shit in. And I called them out on it. I was like, oh, can I put my phone number for my points? And the one dude was like, oh, we don't do that here. I was like, what you mean you don't do it? It was just on the screen. Yeah, the manager said we're not doing that here anymore. I'm like, what? That's bullshit. They're putting in their phone number.
Yeah.
The employees are putting in their phone number and collecting everybody's points when they come in and get shit.
Right.
Because a lot of times you don't even think about it if it don't pop up on the screen. You ain't paying attention.
And that's why you pull up that app and have them scan it first, boy.
I was just put my phone number in.
Yeah, but now you got to pull up that app.
Yeah, but yeah, they be bullshitting, bro. Like I seen the same store in Deland a different time when the dude did it. I know, or it was a chick. I know she put her phone number in because it come across the screen like you have 480,000 points. I'm like, what? I don't have no 480,000 points.
That's what I'm talking about.
Because she getting everybody's shit.
She getting a whole free store out of that.
So them gas stations fucking. Oh yeah. Oh, and you know that one scam. Have you heard about the cashback scam?
Nuh-uh.
Fucking always make sure if you use your debit card, you hit the no cashback thing.
Right.
Because what these fucking, and make sure you see it. Like if it's a store that you know has a little note, the cashback thing, make sure if you don't see it come up on the screen, call them out. Because this is a scam that's been going on at Lowe's, Home Depot, Walmart. They fucking, the cashier, because they see what you see on their end.
Well, that's not necessarily true.
They have the option to put in cash back because they can ask you. They almost all can see it because if you're visually impaired or whatever, they have to be able to do it for you. So, and I don't know. I just saw this. I was just reading it somewhere because they said be careful during like getting supplies for the hurricane. What they'll do is when that cash back option comes up, they'll put in yes and they'll hit like 20. And if you don't pay attention to it, and you're not paying attention, you put in your fucking PIN number or whatever, and that cash back comes up, they just take that after you walk away, they just take that $20, stick it in their pocket. Or their drawer will be over at the end of the day, at the end of their shift, their drawer will be over and they'll just take that extra cash.
So, okay, I will disagree and agree with this situation because I will tell you that I've worked in customer service, right? And I've done lots of credit card transactions. And no, we literally, like, on our side, we literally just say, like, oh, you're going to go credit? Okay, boom. Or debit? Here, boom.
But where?
I mean, you know, places that do cash back.
Where? Where did you work they do cash back?
I ain't trying to put nobody on blast.
I mean, you worked at fucking Domino's and Pizza Hut. They don't do cash back.
They do tips.
No, I don't know.
So,
the
but I've also seen, like, you know what I mean? So, like, there is no option. I mean, there really is no option, like, on that side. I've worked with the POS systems, man.
I've been at Lowe's.
I mean, Lowe's might be different.
And I've been at Walmart where I wasn't paying attention. You know, sometimes you're bullshitting on the phone or whatever, and when the little thing pops up, and I've had them ask me, do you want cash back? And I say no, and they hit whatever, and it just clears it out.
Their two systems might be different, but I would say in most places don't give you that option on on the cashier side. It's literally
They
just
said
a boom, hit it.
it's a scam that's been going on for a while now that they're doing it because they can hit it. They can hit it on their side.
I know the price of everything I get, so I kind of have an idea of what my
you gotta pay
subtotal is going to
attention.
be.
But if you think about it, if you go into Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever and you spend fucking around $1,000 on some shit, you may not fucking $20 or $40 may not register with you. You're spending, you got $968 worth of shit or whatever. It's somewhere around there, and it rings up $986. You may not think about that. If you're doing small transactions, yeah, it's hard to do that. But I've seen people go into Lowe's and spend 30, 40 grand at the register.
Oh, I'm sure, man. But
throw $100 on there, you ain't gonna notice that shit.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I just feel like everybody should pay attention to what the fuck they're buying. Like you know that if you go into Lowe's and you see a drill for $357, and you're going to buy this drill for $357, and you go get...
Yeah, but most people doing construction, their Lowe's trip ain't like that where you're buying a drill. Like when I go into Lowe's, like let's say I'm doing a house, if I'm wiring a house, I'll go in there and I'm buying 250 different items for this house. And I'm not sitting there doing with a fucking calculator figuring out the exact cost of everything plus tax. My bill might be $3,000 on all these pieces, and this one was $3.18, and this one was fucking $44.24. Well, so I'm not adding all that shit up and figuring the tax. So I don't ever even question the bill. But I always look at my receipt afterwards to see if it says cash back on that bitch. But I'm buying with a credit card. You can't get cash back on a credit card anyways.
And one of the biggest things is if there is cash back, that drawer always pops open. You know what I mean? With a regular debit or credit transaction, that drawer will never pop open. If there's cash back and they choose cash back, that drawer pops open.
I think at Lowe's, their drawer always pops.
I don't shop at Lowe's. I don't know.
I think their drawer always pops. I don't remember. But
now I'm going to have to get a job there to find out if...
Right?
Don't come see me.
You get a job there anyways because where you work at Verizon sucks. Metro PC Verizon.
Yeah. Shit.
But they fucking, so you got to watch for that shit because these motherfuckers will rob you, bro. They will 100% rob you because they don't give a fuck.
And it sucks that there's people out there to like that. You see people are budgeting for nobody expected this fucking hurricane to come, right? It's not like we had a week, right, or whatever to know that it might come. But then now that's not enough time for you to save and try to get shit.
No, fuck.
But I also feel like it's Florida, and from June 1st to December 31st is fucking hurricane season.
I mean, I feel like for the most part, I was ready because I got 4 bags of charcoal over there. I had, we didn't actually, come to think of it, we didn't get into any of the survival food because I still have a box of survival food in my closet we didn't touch. And,
that's right. You have 200 MREs or some shit.
No, they're not MREs. It's just non-perishables. I got to save a lot.
Oh.
But in case you can't go buy food, that's what that's for. In case you can't go buy food.
Yeah, which is probably going to happen here very soon.
It's looking more and more like it could. But we had flashlights and generator and all the things that
free headlamps thanks to my job.
Yeah, Metro PC Verizon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we had some stuff. It was the food that kind of fucked me up, like I said, because the kids came over. But that price gouging shit was fucking for real, bro.
Bunch of bullshit.
Racetrack, fuck $68 for some egg rolls, fucking 2 drinks, a bag of chips, and fucking 2 packs of cigarettes.
Man, I would have put them damn egg rolls back. I'm like, let me put them back. And just fucking throw them in my mouth and they're totally back on the grill.
I was just like, what the fuck? They got me fucked up.
And there's a $15 egg roll, sir.
No doubt, bro. I don't even know what to say. What the fuck? So the hurricane's been crazy. I think we got some more stuff coming up from the hurricane because there's a lot, and we got some other stuff coming up.
I know it doesn't. I don't know it doesn't pertain to this hurricane.
Well, we got to go to break here soon.
Oh, okay.
We're 30 minutes in.
Are we really?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, just real quick. I want you to tell the story from when you lived at the other house, your neighbor.
Oh, yeah.
I want you to tell that story because I love that story.
I know we've told this story before.
But
I've told it on here, but because the hurricane's coming, we're going to tell it again.
If we did, it was probably the first podcast.
Well, we did, and we did tell it when we went live during the hurricane, as we promised.
We didn't tell this one.
Yeah, I did. You're talking about my neighbor, Racist Pete, right?
Yeah, we didn't. We never told this.
Yeah, I told it on the live.
Then it must have been before I got out here.
No, you were out here.
No, you didn't talk about that.
I didn't tell it?
No, you didn't.
All right, so what happened was, right after the break, I told you guys the story. Did you know that you too can have your very own podcast? It's super, super easy with Anchor. That's how me and Bomb do it every single week. All you got to do is download the free app to your smartphone, Apple or Android, or go right to anchor.fm from your laptop. They've got everything you need to record and edit right there. If you want to use your own software, you can do that too. Just upload it right through the app. They get your podcast out there to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more all across the internet. And you can make money from your podcast. They hook you up with sponsors. You don't have to find your own sponsors. They find them for you. Get paid to podcast every single week. It's everything you need to make a professional podcast all in one place, and it's 100% free. So if you want to make a podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm right now to get started. All right, we're back.
Yes, we are.
And I guess I promised I was going to tell the story. So we got to tell the story. But first, before we do the story, did you know that during the hurricane, I think you had a stalker?
Think I had a stalker?
Not even before the hurricane, like during the hurricane. Somebody, I think, traveled a long distance to come and try to, like, find you. And they were trying to, like, look at you through the guise of the hurricane.
Oh, boy.
Listen, I was out here the night of the hurricane, right? Because I spent most of the night out here in the garage with the door open, listening to the wind and shit. And I heard that coming, like, from the back. I was like, what the fuck is that? It got worse. It was like, the winds were just blowing, and you could just hear this beat. And I'm pretty sure there was this giant fucking jacked up dude with an Austrian accent in the bushes outside your room.
Arnold?
No, not Arnold.
Oh, that's okay.
A different Austrian dude.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it was Arnold.
Can you imagine just being like outside in some bushes, staring in somebody's window and jerking off during a hurricane? That's like the ultimate.
That's dedication right there.
That's the ultimate fucking adrenaline jerk. Like, it's 120 mile an hour winds. And you're just, you got your fucking music on. It's amazing.
That's great.
So awesome. I can't tell this Florida, or I can't tell this story without the proper introduction of Florida man. He's gonna do everything he can, because this is a Florida man story. If there ever was a fucking Florida man story, I think I've told this before in the podcast, but I don't care. I'm gonna tell it again. So, at my old house where we originated the BareAss The Bomb show back in the day, I had a neighbor named Racist Pete. Well, his name was just Pete, but we called him Racist Pete.
Because he was super
racist.
And we should preface this by saying, like, there was only yours and his houses were the only ones on the street.
Yes. So, yeah, it was a street that kind of, like, went up and over this hill, and it had room for probably 10, 15 houses on it, but it was all woods. And a mechanic shop at the corner, and then if you went down the street, there was my house and then Pete's house. And Pete used to own my house. Right. Pete owned everything. It was all his street at one point.
Wasn't it his wife? I thought it was his wife's family.
Well, it was his wife's family, right? So his wife's family owned all the whole street. And they built a house for some relative to live on their property. And then that relative was gone, so they decided to sell the house.
Right.
So they owned like the whole street except for my house.
Right.
Which they sold it to somebody, and then that person fucking put it up through an agency to rent, and we were their first Caucasian neighbors in 8 years, and Pete was the most racist man on the planet. Like, he'd go to the gas station and be like, I ain't never going to that gas station again. I was like, it's like, I can't even say all the stuff he said on here. We'll get banned.
I just wanted, like, him and his wife drank like a gallon of rum a day.
Yeah.
Where do you find a gallon jug of rum? I've seen the handles to 1.75 liters, but where do you find a gallon?
So they had... This is what they did. Because I asked the same question. Like, where the fuck do you get a gallon jug of rum? They went on a cruise, right? Uh-huh. Which ought to be had to be, like, real fucking interesting. Because, pretty much every cruise that I've ever heard of that leaves Florida only visits places with brown people. Like, it's like they go to Jamaica or the Bahamas or Puerto Rico or Mexico.
I guess they could have went to Alaska, but I'm sure there's brown people.
No, this is fucking Pete we're talking about. Like, a vacation for him is going to Jacksonville. So I'm sure they probably went to the Bahamas or Jamaica or something. So they went on a cruise. And while they were on the cruise in these other countries, you can buy gallon jugs of liquor.
Right.
So they bought a glass gallon jug of rum wherever they were at and brought it home. and drank it. And now when they go to the store, they buy 2 half-gallons and then just dump it all into that jug.
And he drank one of those a day.
Yeah. For what? Why do you go to the store and buy 2 half-gallon jugs and then dump them into the gallon jug just so you can drink that day? Like, is it to make sure that you drink a full gallon?
I mean, I look at it like this. Just buy a half-gallon for your wife, buy a half-gallon for you, throw a straw in it, and call it a day. I mean, why?
I think what it is they say, well, to be a real alcoholic, you got to drink more than a gallon.
Right.
Or you got to drink more than 1 bottle of liquor, so we only drink 1 bottle.
You got to buy 2 to put in it, but you
Right.
only drink 1.
Hey, so racist Pete and his wife lived next door, and the hurricane came. And we're inside, and, you know, it's right in the middle of the hurricane, and it's blowing like a motherfucker and shit, and there's rain and lightning, and I hear this. I'm like, what in the fuck is that noise?
I know you were thinking like it was something wrong with the house or something.
Right, it's fucking, the house is shaking. The storm's coming. And then the background is just like, what in the fuck? So I wait for it to die down just a hair, because, like, you know, when the hurricane hits, it's not just constant fucking 120. It's like constant like 60, and then you get gusts of 120, right? So I wait for one of the gust passes, and I hear the hum, and I go outside, and it's Pete. And on this day, I think they drank more than a gallon.
I would imagine so.
And it was a day hurricane, so it's probably 4 in the afternoon. And Pete is on his front porch, not screened in, mind you. It's just an open front porch.
Like a carport. Yeah.
No, it wasn't a carport. It was it was the full length of the house, and it was about 12 feet, maybe 15 feet off the house, but the full length, and which is about, 40 feet or so. Pete's out there in his underwear, no shoes, no shirt. And he has his leaf blower, and he is blowing the leaves off of his porch as the hurricane blows them back onto the porch. He'll go from one end of the porch all the way to the other with his electric leaf blower. It's not a plug-in because we didn't have power. It's like a battery leaf blower.
Right.
And he's out there blowing it, and he'll get to one end of the porch, and he'll turn around, and he fucking sees that all the leaves have blown back on. He goes, "You motherfucking name, beep, 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 beep," calling them every derogatory term you could use for a brown person. He's calling the leaves this as he walks back down the porch the other way, blowing them off, gets to the other end, turns around, "You motherfucking," he's screaming and cussing and blowing them all off. And he did this for about 45 fucking minutes like this until the rum settled in. He just couldn't move anymore. And it was fucking hilarious.
Dude, you should find that video because you took video of it.
Yeah, I gotta find the video. It exists somewhere. I did take video of it, but Pete, I don't even know if he's still alive. God, I hope not.
I would say we should drive by, but it'd be really awkward.
No, we should not drive by. He hated me when I left.
Dude, he threw a brick through your window.
Yeah, so when we're talking about Pete, so I will talk about the brick. There was there's this girl that lived with me, right? And
R.I.P. Chef.
Yeah, the chef. Everybody knew her as a chef. She was part of our show, and she's dead now. But she lived with me, and I was very careful, right? Because I liked the house that I lived in. Pete was, I'll just throw it out there, right? Pete was super racist, and he was super hillbilly, and he was kind of a pain in the ass and annoying sometimes, but he wasn't that bad to live next to because I'm white. Right? So I guess you could call that white privilege or whatever the fuck you want to call it, but it was a pretty good place to live. He was the only neighbor I had to deal with, right? It was a super private road, so I didn't have to deal with traffic. I didn't have to deal with bullshit. My kids could go outside and play in the road, ride their fucking bikes around and all that other shit. And yes, he was racist, and he was a piece of shit, and that fucking sucked. But it didn't greatly affect me because I'm white. So, not trying to say I'm better than everybody. It's just the situation I was in. So, I was very careful not to have people at my house that were not white because I knew what would fucking happen. Pete would flip the fuck out. And I just dealt with it because I liked where I lived. So, fucking this girl Tamara that lived with me, I went out of town for a month on tour with Mike Busey, right? She knows the deal with fucking Pete. Like, hang out with whoever you want. And I told her, just don't bring anybody to the house while we're gone. So to go back, like, the only people that ever came to my house were you, some females, and I think maybe BJ came there once. Our friend BJ came over once, and the guys that I worked with. Nobody else came over.
Right.
So it wasn't like I filtered through all my friends and just said, okay, only the white ones can come here. I just didn't bring anybody over for the most part.
Right.
So I told her when I was gone, do not have anybody come over here. Like, just nobody, right? She goes, okay. Well, she gets drunk, of course, with Pete. Mind you, she gets drunk with Pete while I'm gone. And Pete's over there running his mouth saying a bunch of racist-ass fucking bullshit, right? Talking about whoever the fuck he saw at the store that he didn't like because they were fucking the wrong shade of white.
Right.
And this pisses her off because she's drunk, right? So she purposely goes inside and calls her white friend, this girl, who is dating a black guy. And they have a baby who's like 2. And she tells him to come over.
Oh, boy.
And make sure that when they get there that fucking Pete is outside so she can see, I got a black person in the house. Fuck you. And Pete started screaming, what in the fuck is that little N baby doing here? And get the N lover out of here. And this N fucking N, dropping N bombs like crazy, right? What the fuck are they doing here, right? Pulls a fucking gun on the baby. The kid, like, it's a 2-year-old, and the 2-year-old's like running around the front yard, I guess crosses the property line. Pete pulled out his pistol and said, I'll shoot it.
Wow.
Get it off my property, right?
That's crazy, bro.
And they called the cops. Like, she went in and called the cops. Like, this dude just pulled his fucking gun on a 2-year-old. The cops came over and were just like, Pete, go in your fucking house. Told her, like, look, he says he didn't pull the gun. You say he did. He said his gun's always out. That he didn't, but he didn't point it at the kid. You're saying he did. I told him to put the fucking gun away. Go in his fucking house if he doesn't like who you have over there.
Right.
That we can't tell you, you can't have fucking people at your house.
Yeah.
So the cops are like, so just, we're going to end it there, right? He's in his house. So they leave. Then Pete calls the cops about 2 hours after that and says that they are selling crack out of my house. And so the cops say, why do you think they're selling crack, Pete? Mind you, the cops have been to my house, not to my house, but to his house several times that I lived there. The Volusia County Sheriff knows Pete well.
Yeah.
Because if he goes to the gas station and sees somebody that's not white, he lets them know how much he hates them. And they call the cops. And he got in fights with people all the time and shit because of it. So they knew him. They just called him Pete. They didn't call him by his last name or Mr. whatever. They just said Pete.
Right.
The cops knew this motherfucker. So I guess they said, Pete, why do you think they're selling crack? And he goes, well, there's a fucking black over there. That's what they do.
Wow.
Right? So the cops come back out again and were like, listen, they said you're selling crack out of here. Right?
Maybe her crack.
Right. So, and they're like, yeah, we're not selling crack. Okay, well, we're just letting you know. Like, please stay away from this guy. We have to come out and investigate because he said you guys are selling crack. Right? So they leave. So Tamara decides to retaliate because he called the cops and said they were selling crack. So she invites every black person she knows to a barbecue at my house.
Wow.
When do you think they might do this? 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, boy.
So about 15 people showed up. Music blaring, fucking rap music fucking blaring, 10 o'clock at night. And they're out there barbecuing on my grill in the front yard.
That's great.
Pete flips the fuck out, calls the cops, obviously, and says there's fucking gang members over here, drugs going on, and fucking, I guess about 6 cops showed up at my fucking house and said, what is the problem? These people are having a cookout. Told them, hey, it's a little late, guys. Fucking keep the music down, but keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Pete, shut the fuck up. They're barbecuing. Like, right? So, cops, I guess, pulled Tamara aside. And so, or actually, they called me at this point. The cops called me because they had pulled her aside. And they said, listen, this shit's going down at your house. And how well do you know Pete? I said, not that well, but he's my neighbor. I know who he is. I know how he is. And they said, listen, you have the freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do. We would advise that the situation at your house and on this street is very tense and not good right now, and something's going to happen. We would advise that you ask your roommate or whoever this girl is to ask all these people to leave, because Pete is going to escalate, and there's nothing we can do right at this point. No violence has happened. Nothing has happened. We're going to have to leave. And when we leave, shit's going to hit the fucking fan.
Right.
So I said, okay. I said, can you do me a favor? I said, just go tell her that she has to stop the party. And the cop says, yeah, I can do that. So the cop goes over and tells her, hey, we just talked to the guy that fucking is in this house, that his name's in the lease, and he said party's over. Everybody has to leave.
Right.
So she sent everybody away and was all mad at me. Oh, what the fuck? I said, listen, bitch, I'm trying to have my fucking house burned down. So in the middle of the night, I had to come back to Florida, right? I was in Pennsylvania. And the next day, some shit happened where I had to rent a car in Pennsylvania, drive to Florida to pick up 3 people, and then drive back to Pennsylvania. While I was in Florida, I was like, well, fuck, I'm going to go to my house, because all this shit just happened yesterday with these cops.
Right.
So I get over there, and Tamara, I don't know if you know this part of the story, about when I found the brick.
I think I did. I think so.
So I walk in. I've got this chick with me that rode back with me from Pennsylvania. I walk in, and there is a dude on my pull-out couch in the living room. Very young-looking dude. And he's laying there, and there is a fucking brick on the ground. And it's just something written on the brick. I don't remember what it was. It was like...
It was something super racist, I remember.
Yeah, it was something like N-Lover or something like that. And this dude's on my pull-out couch. And I wake him up. I said, hey, who the fuck are you? Who's who? Who the fuck are you? I was like, I own this place. Or this is my house. Because I rented. I didn't own it. But I was like, this is my house. Where the fuck is Tamara? He's like, oh, I don't know, right? I don't know. As he sits up, the blanket comes off. Tamara's under the blanket next to this motherfucker. She's naked. She wakes up, and I'm like, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, I remember this was when, like, she had, I'm going to say young, but he was over age, but he was only, like, 20 years old.
No, he was 14. She's in bed with this 14-year-old. I was like, Tamara, what the fuck is going on? What are you talking about? Because I didn't know at the time how young he was, right? And I said, I was like...
Oh, I thought he was like 20.
No. And I looked at him. I was like, how old are you? He's like, 16. And she goes, stop lying. You're 14. And I'm like, what in the fuck? Are you fucking this kid in my house? Like, what the fuck? She's like, no, I made him drive me. I was like, why the fuck are you out here naked? She's like, I don't know. I fell asleep on the couch. He's supposed to be in the guest room. And I'm like, and he was like, oh, I didn't even know you were out here. And they start arguing. So I guess, according to her, I don't know. She might have fucked a 14-year-old. Way to go him. But she's dead now, so they can't go after her. But I don't know what happened. But according to her, she passed out on the couch, on the pull-out bed, because he was there. So I guess he drove over there, which there was no car there, so I don't know how he fucking drove over there. But
piggyback style, baby.
I don't know what the situation. He was supposedly there because he gave her a ride home from the fucking bar or something.
Right.
So he was there, and she said that he went to sleep in the guest room, and she was asleep on the couch, and she doesn't know why the fuck he was on the couch when I woke him up. Right. So the brick is there, and the shit's all broken, and I end up taking this fucking kid back to his dad, who owns a bar.
So you know what? That might make a lot of sense. Like he just happened to be there. Like hey.
I don't fucking know, but I moved out of there shortly after that because at that point it was like, okay. So Pete said, I said, Pete, because I saw him outside after I found the brick. I'm like, really, bro? You threw a brick through my window? I didn't do that shit. It was on coon you had over there. It was out there selling crack. That's what happens when you sell crack out your house. People throw bricks through your window. Oh my God.
There's only one other person on the street, bro. Like, it had to be you.
Right. You're the only person here.
Like, I was 7 states away. There's no possible way it could have been me.
So that was it. I couldn't be, Pete and I were no longer, I'd never say we were friends, but we were no longer friendly. Like, because up to that point, it was just like, hey, Pete, how you doing? Or, he would say hi to me and I'd say hi back. Just, we weren't friends, but we lived next to each other, so we were.
Spider right here. Right here. See, right here.
Yep. So we were pretty much. I tried to be kosher with him because he was my neighbor, and that was it. And we were no longer kosher after that. And every time I came home, he'd be sitting out in the front yard and would fucking just say shit to me and fucking just nonstop. So I moved.
I remember after that, you called me up and was like, "Hey, can you come over?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we were supposed to do the show anyways." He's like, "You were like, listen, when you get on my street, I want you to find the most rap music."
Oh my God.
Like whatever, like the most gangster rap music you could find. I want you to turn it all the way up.
Oh yeah, we fucked with Pete after that.
I did, and it didn't matter what time. If I'd leave at 2:00 in the morning, I'd turn my music all the way up. And
oh yeah, bro. He fucking. So another thing with Pete during the hurricane. So this motherfucker had a generator, right? And his generator was on the other side of his house where his panel was, and he was running it during the hurricane or whatnot, right? So we also had a generator, but my panel was on the side of the house at Pete's, like in between the two houses. So that's where the generator had to go. And this motherfucker at like 8:00 at night, his fucking wife is out there. Shut that motherfucker off. I can't fucking sleep with that generator on. I was like, y'all's generator's on. I can't fucking hear our generator. I can hear yours. Shut it off. This is my street. Shut it off. I'm like, no, I ain't fucking shutting it off. So we ended up putting it in the fucking laundry room.
Yeah, I remember that.
We ended up putting it in the laundry room.
We tried it, and then we eventually, because it got too fumey in there.
It was hot. Yeah, it got nasty.
You were driving a van at the time. You backed the van up to the house
to block the sound, right?
Well, you left. We put it in the van, remember? And
yeah, that's right.
And just left like the back doors of the van open a little bit to run the cords out.
Right. Yeah, it was crazy living next to fucking Pete, man.
That was crazy. It was a weird time, man. You lived there for what, 2 years?
Yeah.
And it was good though. I mean, listen, that had to be the smallest house you could possibly fucking find. I think like
it was small, but that living room was so nice. Had the cedar walls and the fucking fireplace.
Listen, I tried to use that bathroom, bro. Listen, I've never in my life had to get on my knees to wipe my ass. That toilet was so short, and like the house was built in like the 60s or 50s or something, and like everything, I had to turn 4 times to get through a doorway. Like, you know how you put how you bring a couch in, you gotta like tilt it and put the legs in. That's how I had to get through every fucking doorway.
You know what was crazy about that house is I had, it's again with this guy being racist, if I ever brought a female back to the house, I had to make sure she was fucking white. Because if I came at night, obviously during the day you can tell, but if I came at night, Pete would always look, and he would always say this, he goes, "You ain't got no woman with you, do you?" I'm learned. He'd say, "Well, I don't know. If it's one of them black girls, you can't see them at night." Like, what the fuck?
Jesus. Look, dude, that house was like, it was crazy, man. Like,
it was a great house. I love that house.
I mean, I had the heater in the roof, the heater coils.
Oh yeah, that was the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it was weird, but it was cool. But listen, man, like I still like the bedrooms weren't small. They weren't big, but they weren't small. You know what I mean? Right. But like the shower, the bathroom was like the smallest piece of that house, bro. And like,
I still somewhere, I think maybe I might still have. Oh no, I think Vicky threw it away. Oh. The Ninja Turtle fucking shower curtain that was in the house when I moved in, and I took it, and I've had it ever since. And I think I hung it up in here when we first moved in, and Vicky got a new shower curtain. I think she threw it away.
Listen, bro, like I tried to, bro. I think I took a shower in that house one time. It was like the tightest like place I could have like shower.
I loved it there, bro.
Well, of course you fit in things, bro. Like I remember like anytime.
Hey, this isn't fat talks, bro.
I remember every time I had to take a shit at your house, we had to go to the store.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, you used to have to go down to the racetrack,
bro. Because the one time I tried, like I had to take a knee and rotate. It was weird, but
yeah, it was the house was in a great spot just because nobody ever drove down the road.
Yeah.
And if they did, Pete used to fucking, because people would make a wrong turn, right? And they get down the road, they get over the hill, and there's just two houses, so they have to turn around.
Yeah.
If they were lucky, they turn around in the first driveway, which is fine. If they were unlucky, they went down to the end of the road. Because Pete was, he wasn't that old. He was like 50-something, maybe 52,
He was
53.
only 50?
Yeah.
God, he looked rough.
Yeah, well, he was disabled. He had, he broke his back somehow, right?
Yeah, I could tell by his face.
Karma, you know. So he was home all the time. And boy, that motherfucker was up. And I don't know how you drink rum like that. Because he would drink all day. But he would get up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning and start drinking. And then stay up till like 10 o'clock. And then fucking pass out and then wake up and start drinking again. But so
it's a special talent.
If anybody came down that fucking road to turn around, if they got all the way to the end and turned around a Pete's driveway, Pete would come out with his gun and fucking everything else.
Oh yeah, bro. What the fuck are you doing? Get out of my driveway! Rah, rah, rah.
Oh yeah, dude. Get the fuck. This ain't no goddamn cul-de-sac. This ain't no fucking turnaround. And they're just like, hey man, I'm just turning around and made down. You turn down my fucking driveway. Even if they haven't even pulled into his driveway, they're like, oh, haven't even pulled into your driveway, dude. I'm still in the street. This street is my fucking driveway.
What? Who was it? It was a truck with a trailer. They were trying to drop off a car at the transmission place.
Yeah.
He wouldn't let them turn around.
Yeah.
They had to like try to back it out and kept jackknifing the fucking trailer.
Yep. They would not. He would not let them turn around in fucking front of his house. Nope. Back it out of here.
And
he said.
They kept jackknifing it or something. Like they couldn't fucking get out, bro. And I had to leave. I was doing Uber or something. I had to leave and I had to like go up into the trees and shit to get around them.
You know, it was crazy, that mechanic shop. They fucking Pete went down there because apparently they used to own that too. That building. It was just a building with like a warehouse that somebody had turned into a mechanic shop.
Right.
Well, I guess back in the day, their family also owned that building and had sold it or whatever. So Pete would go down there. He would walk up and down the road all the time, and he would go down there
shirtless.
Oh yeah, of course, shirtless. And would tell them, I don't want you working on cars of people that aren't white. And they were like, what? And they're like, yeah, I don't want them on my street. This is our building. They were like, no, it's not, Pete. Like, you don't own this building. Yeah. Whatever your family, you owned it fucking 30 years ago. They don't own it now. Like, you can't tell us who our customers are going to be. Right. And he would go down there and scream at their fucking customers. So the mechanic shop figured out if they bought him rum, he would leave them alone. So once a week, they would go down. The guy that ran the mechanic shop, once a week, he would come with 2 jugs of fucking rum and walk down to Pete's house and give him the fucking rum and sit there and bullshit with him for like 10 minutes and then go back. And I talked to that guy a couple times. He goes, I fucking hate Pete. I said, I see you going over to his house with rum all the time. And he told me that story. He was like, yeah, Pete would come up here and scream and cuss at my fucking customers and call him every racist name in the fucking book. Told me I couldn't serve customers if they weren't white. He goes, and then I figured out if I started bringing him rum, he'd just leave me the fuck alone.
Listen, if I was an alcoholic and like that worked, bro, I'd do that shit all the time.
Right? Just pretend to be racist to get free rum.
Just fucking free rum.
So,
you think that'll work with cheeseburgers? Just get
Pete, the most racist person on the planet. But there were a small group of black guys that Pete really, 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 really liked. And he constantly gave them money, cold soda, food, like full-on fucking meals he would come out with in bags and give it to them.
Really?
Yep. You know who they were?
Oh, boy.
The fucking garbage men. The garbage guys had to back their truck. There was nowhere for them to turn that big truck around.
Right.
So they had to back down from the highway all the way down our road to fucking pick up the garbage. Well, I guess at one point they used to turn around, and Pete fucking, or they knew, we can't turn around at the end of the street. This guy won't let us turn around his yard.
Right.
Mostly because we're black. Right? So they knew they had to back down to get the garbage. And I guess Pete appreciated that they backed down. So every single week, and he used to yell at me for being a cheap ass because I didn't go out every week with stuff for the garbage men. Every week, Pete brought him out a cooler of cold sodas, And it was always a styrofoam cooler. So we told them they could take the cooler.
Right.
Here, it's styrofoam, take it. So he'd bring them out a cooler of sodas. Most of the time, he'd bring them food, sandwiches and shit. He'd have like a bag with fucking, like whatever they had the night before, fucking spaghetti or whatever, and fucking Tupperware and shit, and fucking bring it out. Just take it with you.
Right.
Fucking bring them food. He'd give them $40 tips all the fucking time. Mind you, our garbage, which is weird because garbage usually comes in the morning, our garbage was always in the afternoon, about 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So Pete was good and fucking drunk by then.
Depends on your route, but yeah.
Yeah, so he was good and drunk by then, and that motherfucker would be out there and hated everything that wasn't fucking white out white. Like, it had to be the brightest white. What's going on?
There's a kitten out here. I don't know how the door got open.
That's fine.
Kitten being out here?
Fuck him.
Okay. Let me go close this door.
But yeah, so that was if they were the garbage man. He loved them. I never understood that. Like, the only moment he wasn't racist is when somebody was picking his trash up. He had to give him money and soda. Ugh. Man, this turned into a whole show about racist Pete.
Well, apparently tipping your garbage man is a thing in Georgia.
Yeah.
Like, my cousin did that, bro, and people would give him like drinks and money, and dude, come Christmas time, bro, she got all kinds of stuff,
bro.
Somebody threw out their fucking porn stash, and there was every Girls Gone Wild DVD there was. Nice. She came home with a box of like 50 of them.
Listen, bro. I'm a big tipper, like when we go out to eat and shit.
Right.
And in most tippable situations, but there's a reason I don't tip the garbage man. No, mind you, if there's a bunch of shit out by the road, like if there's a whole bunch of stuff, I will tip them and I'll help them throw it in if I'm home. But I'll tip them if it's a lot. But regular, just garbage day garbage, I ain't tipping them. And the reason why is because I got to see them every week. And if I tip them this week, but I don't tip them next week, they start getting that attitude. Because I've tipped the garbage men before, just regular.
Right.
Like, I don't remember where it was I lived. I think it was in Altamont. And fucking people tip the garbage man, right? So I give him $5 one day, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. Wasn't even a black guy. It was a white guy. And the next week, they picked up my garbage. I was there. I was out front smoking a cigarette. And they just sat there for a minute and stared at me.
Yeah.
They didn't say nothing. They just kind of looked at me. And then they fucking kind of had like a little attitude and then drove away. And then the next week, I wasn't even home. So it was a couple weeks later, I was home again. I tipped them again. I gave them like $10, right?
Right.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. 2-3 weeks later, again, they saw me out there. And they just give me the fucking evil eye and shit. And I said, how you doing today? They didn't wave. They just look at me as I drive away. Like, fuck you. They started to expect that tip. And you don't give it to them, now they're assholes. And these motherfuckers wouldn't fucking pick up. Like, if I put extra shit out there, they wouldn't take it.
Yeah. My cousin was cool about that. She never expected, she was a driver, so she never expected anything. You know what I mean? They didn't expect nothing. I mean, but, it was always that nice stuff. Like, but she wasn't one of the drivers that would just sit in a truck. She'd pull up if there was a bunch. She'd jump out of the truck and help the fucking guy throw it. But man, she was never like a garbage picker. But man, when she started driving and stuff,
I bet they find the greatest shit.
Oh, bro, like I told you, like, do you know how expensive that box of fucking Girls Gone Wild videos were?
Oh, I'm sure,
dude. It was the whole fucking collection. Dude, everyone would snoop and screech and all that stuff. Like, dude, every one of them.
Bro, I used to be friends with this guy, and his dad was a garbage man. It was this black dude named Darnell. And I don't even know why I was fucking friends with him. But his name was Darnell, and he was a southern black dude, too. And that's how my name's Darnell. It was always Darnell. Right? And his dad was a garbage man. That motherfucker worked hard. He made good money, too, man.
Oh, yeah,
we're talking, this is back in the 90s. He was making like $45,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
It's in the 90s. That was good-ass fucking money.
Yeah.
And he's a garbage man, right? And he found like fucking $100,000 in cash and like 4 kilos of cocaine.
What?
Yeah. It's somebody's fucking garbage. The story that I heard, now mind you, this is the late 90s, so I was young, but I remember hearing the story.
That's like 25 grand a key, bro.
So I guess there was a fucking like an eviction or whatever.
But that's wholesale price.
Oh, yeah, so like when they evict somebody out of a house and they leave all their shit, they just throw it all at the curb.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this guy and his fucking girlfriend got arrested and never came home. Went to fucking prison.
Oh shit.
So they stopped paying their rent. Nobody told the landlord shit because they just disappeared.
Right.
And so I guess the guy had gone to prison and they came and they cleaned out the fucking house. And there was a fucking bunch of cabinets and shit. Well, I guess whoever cleaned it out didn't go through the shit. And one of the cabinets had 100 grand in cash and 4 kilos of cocaine.
Bro. That's like another $200,000 in cash.
So I guess he called the cops.
Oh, motherfucker.
And said, hey, we found all this shit in here.
Yeah, we found this 4 keys of coke.
I guess he told him we found 2 kilos of cocaine and $25,000 in cash. And he kept 75 grand and 2 kilos of cocaine.
Yeah, as you should.
Right. So yeah, garbage man finds some good shit.
Right, listen, dude, I'm telling you, dude. Like my cousin, that's how we found out. Like, remember when Coke used to do the points or whatever?
Yeah.
Like I think they still do that. Anyways, but back when it was popular, mid 2000s, when I was early to mid 2000s when I was living in Georgia, like she would bring home stacks of points ripped out of these 12-pack cases.
Right.
Bro, she had, and I mean it's a ton. That's when we learned that you can only submit so many points a day through Coke. And she would spend 2 hours a night fucking putting all these codes in to get all of her points for the day. And she did this every day, bro. She amassed.
Nice.
Now, she didn't drink Coke. But she amassed probably,
trash.
Dude, 60, 70,000 points. Put it like this. We had enough. I say we. She had enough points to buy through their system one ticket to go to the national championship football game for football, college football. And she's like, let's get it. And I'm like, what are you going to do with it? One ticket.
Right.
And it was like in Louisiana. I'm like, what are you going to do in Louisiana with one ticket? I mean, like, go, have fun. So what she did, and she was smart about it, she bought everybody's Christmas presents from Coke.
Hell yeah.
You remember that white Adidas hat that I had?
Yeah.
With the red bill? That's where I got it from.
She should have got the ticket and sold that motherfucker.
Bro.
Day of, like, go to the game, you could probably hawk that bitch for fucking 3 times the fucking face value.
Probably. And I'm like, so she started buying stuff, and I'm like, yo, just keep putting fucking points in. And then so she like just kept putting fucking and I don't know. Now she owns her own waste management company.
She bought it with Coke points.
She probably bought it with Coke points. But I think she still has so many points, man. I mean, she had to have well over. I was on the low end. I'm estimating on the low end at like 60, 70,000 points, but she had to have well over 200,000 or 300,000.
Now that I'm thinking about it, that story from Darnell's dad might not have been true. Because I'm thinking back about Darnell's dad, and he used to tell us all the time, fucking, yo boy ought to be garbage man. He talked like that too. He talked like that. They were Southern black folk. And yo boy ought to be garbage man.
I mean, you learn the best stuff. You remember there was
this is why he said, man, all these ladies always come out there, always trying to suck my dick. I get blowjobs all day if I want to. Everybody they're all trying to give me head.
Listen,
and I said, wait a second. I'm thinking about this. He had to be full of shit. How many women fantasize about blowing the garbage man?
Listen, I will tell you that part of that's factual. My cousin,
really?
My cousin who is gay, she used to come home with stories all the time. Like, yeah, she used to tell me all the time that like housewives would come on to her and like.
Well, yeah,
like
but that's different because she's a female.
But her worker though, she said the same thing. Like her worker would get out there and then fucking all these housewives would come out there dressed real skimpy and oh my god, I forgot to bring the thing and like running down the driveway with like these bras on or you know what I mean, like her titties just jiggling everywhere.
There's a difference between a younger female driver, maybe that turns the housewives on if she's empowered because she's a woman, and a 55-year-old black man.
Hey, bro.
That look, this motherfucker looked like a garbage man. Like, if you were to think of, in your mind, if you were to close your eyes and think of what would a stereotypical old black garbage man look like, that was Darnell's dad. Like, yeah, like, in my head, when I close my eyes, the first image that comes to my head is Rock. Remember the show Rock?
Or Cedric the Entertainer?
No, you remember the show Rock?
Yeah.
And the dad was a garbage man?
Yeah.
That was Darnell's dad. And the Rock didn't have hair. This dude, he had like short Jerry curl fucking gray hair and a fucking gray stubble fucking beard, and he was missing like 3 teeth, and he was great. He used to take us fucking fishing, bro. Darnell's dad would take us fishing. And he used to get mad because I had a regular fishing pole, right, with a reel and shit on it, and they fished with cane poles. And he would get, man, why you always bring that bullshit? Can't catch no fish with that damn thing. And this motherfucker would pull in fucking like giant ass catfish with a cane pole, no reel, just poof, flip them up onto the shore.
Yeah.
Oh, old Darnell. Darnell.
Bro, remember that's you remember the energy drink? It's been banned now, or well, you can find it. I think it's been banned in Florida. It used to be called cocaine.
Yeah.
Is then across the top it said the legal alternative.
Yes.
Bro. So that's where I learned that if you get one of the 32-ounce Gatorades and you drink the first like quarter of it or a little bit less, you dump the cocaine in there and mix it up. You drink it, it doesn't fuck with you.
Listen, I know we're gonna go over time, but I don't care because you talking about your cousin reminded me of something. We're gonna talk about lesbians.
I love lesbians.
Yes, but see, I really prefer a certain kind of lesbian. I'm probably gonna get hate for this, but I don't care. I prefer a certain type of lesbian. I saw one of them today.
Yeah.
My favorite type of lesbian.
You should tell us right after the break.
Oh, we're taking a break?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Break.
It's time for Mike Busey's Drunk People in Costumes 2022.
What's Drunk People in Costumes?
It's the wildest Halloween party in America, brought to you by Mike Busey.
Who's Mike Busey?
Mike Busey is the king of rock and roll debauchery, a party god, and the owner of the wildest house in America, the Sausage Castle.
What's the Sausage Castle?
Yeah. Just shut the fuck up and go to the goddamn party. October 28th, 29th, and 30th.
How do I get to go?
You just gotta sign up at MikeBusey.com. We'll see you there.
All right, we're back for the break. Welcome to the Fat Hog Hour and a half because we're going long today.
I always go short but wide.
So, we were talking about lesbians. My favorite kind of lesbians, because I saw one today.
They make me moist.
I like old school lesbians.
Define old school lesbian.
Like, fucking kind of broad shoulders, rocking a baggy tank top, got a fucking mullet, maybe a little bit of a mustache.
Oh,
like I'm talking about
like a butch type of lesbian.
I mean, yeah, I guess like a butch, but like back in the day, there were no butches. They were just lesbians.
No, sir. No. There is a term. I'm not going to use it because it's very derogatory. But
starts with a D, ends on the Ike.
But you put a bull in front of it.
What? Oh, bull dyke?
Yeah.
Why is that derogatory?
Dude, it's super derogatory. You can't say that.
Is it really?
Yeah, you can't call lesbians dykes anymore.
Bro, they rolled back in the day. You like the lesbian biker gangs, dykes on bikes. Like,
listen. My favorite insult from when we were kids was "Your mama wears combat boots." That was my favorite insult. When I forgot what movie that it was. Short Circuit. I never understood what it was.
Your mama wears combat boots.
Your mama wears combat boots. I think it was called. I think it was Short Circuit. But dude, I never understood. I got older and I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch.
But I mean, back in the day, you could fucking point out a lesbian a mile away, and they didn't look like dudes, right? She didn't look like a man, even though she was wearing dude clothes. Most of the time, didn't look like a dude.
Right.
Didn't look like a normal woman.
Yeah.
It was a fucking lesbian. And you could tell them, and those are the best kind. Those are the best kind. My parents were friends with a lesbian couple. Actually, one of them passed away not too long ago, unfortunately. But they were older. I think the one that's still alive I think she's in her 70s.
Oh, wow.
And they were lesbians from way back. And boy, before I knew what a lesbian was, I knew they were lesbians. I didn't even know what a lesbian was, but I knew that they weren't like everybody else. For women they own too many flannels. How come they live together?
There's so many questions.
Yeah, but I didn't like. I used to hang out at their house all the time. They'd babysit me all the time when I was a kid.
Nice.
Like I was over there all the fucking time. And the one woman that passed away, her name was Nancy. I called her Aunt Nancy, and she had this little Nissan pickup truck that had she named him Norman, was the name of the truck, and it had this box in it with all these buttons, and you press the buttons and it would play different songs out of the horn.
Oh,
It's like the click buttons.
yeah.
So Norman would sing, but they were fucking real deal lesbians. These modern lesbians are bullshit. Like they got femmes and doms and fucking butches, and it's all bullshit. And like most lesbians aren't even real lesbians anymore. Like I'm a lesbian, but sometimes I like to suck a dick. The old school lesbians, no, they never even fucking were in like the same room with a nude penis. No, they were fucking real deal fucking lesbians.
That's great.
I'm sorry, but the fucking gay community has dropped the ball on this situation. Like, I'm all for everybody being whatever they want to be and doing what you want to be, but I don't think that these women now, like, I think the lesbians should be what I'm talking about right now. The other people that are females that also like females, they should have a completely different name for them. Like, they shouldn't have been able to take lesbian. I bet the old school lesbians, the ones that are still alive and around, I bet they're madder than fuck. That there's all these other fucking people that are calling themselves lesbians. Like, the girl that looks like Barbie but likes to have sex with women only. Like, I bet the old school fucking lesbians like, you're not a fucking lesbian.
Hold on now, I'd watch that.
I'm not saying you wouldn't, but I bet it's pissing off the old lesbians. They're like, nah. Fuck that. You are not a fucking lesbian. Get a mullet, bitch. Like,
Listen, I'm not saying that there's not women out here that can't do this, but I like old lesbians because, like, you know what I mean? Like, they were the ones that are sit down and watch a football game with, like, they had, like, dude traits. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and I say dude traits, you know, like, what you would think of, like, a typical man, old school man. You know, watching football, basketball, sports, or out there working on the car, drinking a Miller Lite, fucking cigarette hanging out her mouth, with either the cigarette pack rolled up in the sleeve. Remember that
Right,
shit?
yeah, yeah.
You know, with like a flannel over it, like.
Right. These are the type of lesbians that I like. And they're the originals. That's why they're the first in the letter fucking triad.
They're like 5'9", like
Right.
like $190. Or
Right.
like
They're
damn,
fucking
dude.
Charlize Theron and Monster. Like, Thelma and Louise lesbians.
Like they perfected the stand up pissing for women.
LGBTQ. What's the L?
I don't
Lesbian.
know. Yeah, lesbian.
Right? And so, and those lesbians are like, yeah, we're number one. We've got the first L. All you other fucking females that want to be some type of homosexual lifestyle, whatever, you're one of the other fucking letters. You're not a lesbian.
You're one of the other letters. You're not
Right.
lesbian.
And people get mad. They're like, well, you shouldn't be able to tell if somebody's a lesbian just by looking at them. What, you can tell if somebody's black just by looking at them? Is that fucking wrong
Fair.
now, too?
Fair.
Like,
Well, yeah.
you can't identify a black person by looking at them?
Well, what about that? What about that white girl that found out she was black? Now she started talking all black.
Right. That's like somebody pretending to, like, saying they're lesbian when they fucking look like Barbie doll. Not a real lesbian.
I seen that video. That was some lesbian shit.
Look, if you are a female and you have ever willingly, and I don't mean one time experimenting when you were younger, or at any time. You could be 40 and you've been gay your whole life, and then as a female, and then one day you just take dick to see how it is. That's experimenting, see whatever. That's different. If you've ever willingly participated in taking dick or sucking dick and had a good time and enjoyed yourself, or did it multiple times, even if you didn't like it, if you didn't like it but you kept doing it just because, Not a real fucking lesbian.
I feel like that's just kind of putting people in a lump category, man. Because you hear about these people all the time who.
Yes, lesbians are in a. Yes, I am putting people in a lump category.
What about these gay guys that have been married for 40 years and come out all of a sudden they're gay now? Like, what about those type of people? Like, what if these women have been married for a long time and all of a sudden they're lesbian? So like, you're just kind of. Both of our phones went off at the same time. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, it really depends. Like, so if you're a man that's been married to a woman for a long time and you had sex with her and you enjoyed it and you were attracted to her, and then you become gay, you would be bisexual because you were also attracted to females.
But what if you're no longer attracted to the female? I mean, like, you were just there, you were lying to yourself for the 40 years because you were too ashamed to come out as gay.
Then you were never attracted to her. You were lying to yourself.
Right. So women do that all the time.
I mean, yeah.
You hear more about it from men but
I'm not talking about. I guess I'm not really talking about people that are hiding or in the closet or whatever.
Gotcha.
I mean, people that come out and like day one, fucking, I'm 12, I'm a lesbian.
Did you say gay one or
gay one? Gay one. Day one. They're gay from the get. Like their first fucking real good sexual experiences with a fucking female, and they live as a lesbian, and then every once in a while they take dick just for fun. Not a lesbian. Gay? I'll go with gay. You can be gay. You can be gay all day. You can call yourself gay, okay. I'm fine, but you're not a fucking lesbian.
Okay. Follow me here, right? So we know a gay guy.
Yeah.
So we were talking tonight, and he was like, I just like butthole.
Yeah.
So if he's just doing a chick in the ass, is he not gay anymore?
No, we're not talking about gay dudes. We're talking about lesbians.
Well, I mean, you said that if a lesbian's ever taken dick, she's gay, not lesbian. So is he no longer?
We're not talking about gay dudes. Gay dudes don't get their own category.
Okay.
Lesbians do.
Okay.
It's like
makes no sense, but okay.
You got Tyrannosaurus Rex, and then all the rest of them are just fucking dinosaurs. Okay.
What?
That's what it is. The fucking
I don't
lesbians
know if you know this,
are the
but
T-Rex.
He's still a dinosaur.
The lesbians are the T-Rex. Right. And right. T-Rex is still a dinosaur, right? Yeah. But he's fucking T-Rex. And lesbians are still gay. They're still part of the LGBTQ community. They're fucking lesbians. Okay? They are the originals. They're the best. That's why their letter is first. And I'm not talking about these femme, lesbian, whatever they fucking want to call each other or whatever they're doing. I'm talking about real deal lesbians. Like, they don't necessarily have to have a mullet, but you a real lesbian, you could look at them and go, that's a lesbian. 100% that's a lesbian.
I feel you. So, okay. So, we got on the subject because did you talk to this lesbian today? Or you just saw her?
No, but to be fair, because it's 2022 and you can't always tell, it could have just been a weird dude.
Fair enough.
But as I got closer, I realized, okay, that is a woman. I think we're definitely dealing with a lesbian. But I checked to make sure. I gave him the nod. She nodded back. Lesbian.
Okay.
Like, look, a real deal lesbian, when a dude gives them the nod, they always give it back.
Was it the up nod or the down nod?
It was a down nod. Yeah, a real lesbian will give that back to you.
Gotcha.
Even if they hate men, because a lot of them do, and that's fine. But real lesbians, they're like women that they don't really want to be men. They want to be lesbians, but they almost want to be fucking. I don't even know. Like, they're in a category of their own.
Fair enough.
What was that? There was some fucking thing out there. Was it you? It was either you or somebody where there was at the chick, and she was talking to the dude, and her girlfriend rolled up, and it was like a big, heavy-set lesbian chick that was dressed like a dude, and was like, "Let me talk to you man to man."
That definitely wasn't me.
It was like, "Oh, are you a transgender?" No, I'm a lesbian. You just said man to man. That's what I mean by they're in the category of their own because they don't want to be acknowledged as men. They want to be acknowledged as women, but they want to be treated like men.
Right.
And they want to talk to you man to man, but at the same time know that I am a woman. Don't be fooled by the mullet and the mustache. I am all woman. And those are the type of fucking lesbians that I like.
Fair enough.
I want to hang out with them. I want to have a party with all those type of lesbians. Just all sleeveless shirts only. Sleeveless shirts only at the whole fucking party.
Bro. Big smelly hairy pits.
Smelly hairy fucking pits.
Nice.
Maybe a little fucking facial hair.
That's great.
Like the type of lesbians I'm talking about, like they're like women. They are women, 100%, but they take care of themselves like a redneck man. Like
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you. Like I know
they
what
don't
you're
shower
about.
every day. They got work boots. They fucking.
Are they combat boots?
If they need a fucking wall in the backyard, they don't hire somebody. They just go to Lowe's and buy some blocks and some mason's tools, and they put up a fucking wall. Like,
that's great.
Then they go inside and eat pussy.
That's great.
That's what I'm fucking talking about. Ah, man.
That's great.
People are gonna hate me for this, but I don't fucking care. I don't care. I have a preferred letter in the spectrum, and they're lesbians.
You have a preferred lesbian?
And I'm not talking about the kind of lesbians that you want to watch have sex. Like you don't want to watch these people have sex. You don't want to watch. I don't want to watch them get down with their thing. I don't care. I just like them as people.
You like them as people. They're awesome people.
And my second favorite are old school gays. The ones that hate the modern gays. Like gay dudes, older gay dudes that have been gay their whole life and they're married to a dude or whatever their situation is that fucking hate the new school of gays. I love them because they get so mad. The gay dude, Ben, that's supposed to always be on the show, he's one of them. He hates young gay dudes. He hates them. He posts about it on Facebook.
Well, I know.
He's like, stop being so gay. Turn your gay down. Nobody's that gay.
He prefers lumbersexuals. But
what?
Lumbersexual.
I don't know what that is.
Big fat guys with beards that wear flannels. It's called lumbersexuals because lumberjacks used to wear the
Okay.
Apparently, it's a whole thing, not just in the gay community. Anyways, I use my friend.
I thought lumbersexual was another word for lesbians because they fucking use lumber.
They can be. I mean, they can be considered lumbersexual too. Anyways, so back in the
lesbians I'm talking about would hate it if you classified them as anything other than lesbian. If you called them a lumbersexual or a butch, they'd probably be fine with, but nothing else.
Oh, excuse me.
Dyke, they would probably be okay with dyke.
Some of them.
The ones that I like. They wear fucking shirts that say fucking dyke and proud.
So I used to my friend he was a dealer. He used to buy all his weed from these two old like
gay dudes?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Excellent.
Dude, they had AIDS. And they were the coolest shit,
rough.
Bro. They'd always invite us in and want to smoke weed with us. And I'm like, I don't even smoke anymore, man. I'm just down to drink. And they're like, oh, you want a beer? And I'm like, yeah, I want a beer. But man, he used to take weed pills. We'd sit in there and just chill for hours, and I'd be like, oh, you came for this pound? All right, here you go.
Did you ever see the stand-up comedian dude? He was a big, heavy dude. He always wore the football jerseys. He was a huge football fan, gay as shit. Never seen that dude? Oh my god, he was so funny. He was he lived somewhere local here because I saw him at a local bar, but he was on Comedy Central a couple times.
I don't know.
But he would he talk about going in. I saw him at whatever that place is in DeBerry that fucking does the comedy sometimes.
Shots?
Yes. So and he was talking about going into dailies. And he's like, yeah, guys don't believe that I'm fucking gay. Yep, 100% queer, all the way fag. Love the dick. Love the dick. Also love the fucking football. If you don't like football, can't fuck with you.
That's great.
Oh, dude. And you would never in a million fucking years think that this dude was gay. He was like, I'm into hot rod cars And and his voice was like this. And I'm into hot rod cars, and I'm into fucking football, and I got a bunch of tools, and I got a big ass truck, and I love cock. I was like, what? Dude was so fucking awesome.
That's great.
Well, yeah, and he was like one of them the old school style gay dudes are just, they're different fucking people.
They were built different. Like the old school stuff is built different.
Yeah.
You know, just old mentality, the whole situation, everything's built different. And you know, that's the big thing, man. I mean,
Like, you can see an old school gay dude in the fucking store when you go to the store, and he's just there shopping. He doesn't feel the need to make sure everybody in the store knows that he's gay.
right.
He doesn't feel the need to announce his pronouns. He doesn't feel the need to fucking... Even if he may be wearing something that fucking acknowledges that he's gay, but he doesn't have to fucking make sure that everybody in that store knows that. And then you got the guys that fucking...
Well, it's usually a Dallas Cowboys jersey. I couldn't resist.
Well, then you got the people, the younger dudes, and there's some older dudes like this too. But as they walk through the store, they have to frail their hands everywhere, and they have to be like, "Oh my god, they don't have my favorite snack," and they have to be really
flamboyant,
super flamboyant and super loud. Which even if you're super flamboyant, you can still go out in public and act like a normal fucking person.
Right.
You don't have to yell stuff so that the whole store acknowledges that you're there and you're gay, and they have to fucking accept it.
Right.
Like, nobody cares, bro. Nobody fucking cares. And it's just, I don't know. I like the old school lesbians first, old school gay dude second. That's what I prefer.
Hell yeah. You know, as we wind this thing down, I just want to give a shout out to the, you looking at me like I'm about to say something fucked up, but I'm not though. I just want to give a shout out to all the linemen out there, the coming into Florida, trying to get us restored.
Yeah, it was a rough week. It was a rough week for football.
42,000 linemen lined up in Georgia or wherever they were at, ready to go.
Did they win?
So, linemen are the power.
Who'd the bull? Oh, I thought you were talking about the Bulldogs.
You're
talking about football. Yeah.
But no, so all these guys coming from other states to help us out. I really want to say thank you for getting our power back on. Not just ours, but everywhere. These guys are working around the clock to make sure that we get restored, because that's going to be a big thing to start the recovery. So I just want to give a shout out to these guys working their asses off, leaving their families to come here to help us. So, from everybody in Florida, if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah, it was cool. Thanks for turning the power back on. I will say this about linemen. They have the biggest balls on the planet.
Yes.
Because I do electrical work. Oh, excuse me. I do electrical work.
About it, huh?
And I get nervous fucking with wires in the walls and shit sometimes, especially if I know they're hot. Or if I don't know. I get a little bit nervous, but when I get hit, it hurts a little bit. It's a little sting, right? But it probably ain't going to kill me. It could, but it probably won't. And if something shorts out or whatever, it's going to blow the breaker. They're there to protect me and save my life. When you're a lineman and you're up there working on those lines, there is no breaker. If you get hit, you're dead. There's nothing that trips to stop you from dying.
I had a conversation with some of those guys. They're really grounded.
Well,
horrible joke.
Cool thing, a lot of people don't know this. Like, if you're completely suspended in the air and nothing about your shit is grounded, and you grab the wire and the electricity has no way to travel through you to find ground, it won't kill you.
Really?
Yeah, that's why birds can sit on top of the power lines.
Oh, that's cool.
Like, the big power lines, the real tall ones?
Yeah.
You ever notice the lines that are on those have nothing over them? They're just bare metal wire.
I didn't know that.
If you look at the ones in front of your house, they've got the black insulation over them.
Right.
But if you go back here and you look at these really tall power lines on the next street over,
right,
all those top wires have no insulation on them. Oh. And those are all fully electrified.
Oh, that's
cool. Birds will go sit on them all the time.
That's cool.
Because if you're not grounded, the electricity has no reason to go through you. The electricity only goes through you to find ground.
Oh.
So if you could go sit on top of one of those lines, and as long as you weren't touching anything, and you were just sitting there on top of one of those lines, you'd feel it. You'd feel but it wouldn't hurt. You would just feel like a you'd feel it in your body. You would feel the electricity going through your body.
Right.
But you wouldn't feel it like in a painful, like,
Yeah.
it might make you a little uncomfortable, but it wouldn't be grounded, so it wouldn't be shocking you.
Nice.
So that's how those operate. That's why all those bare lines up there, the reason that they're bare is because there's so much electricity going through there, that has to have something to cool it down. Like the air cools it down. If it was insulated, it would get too hot.
Gotcha. Well.
So anyways, yeah. Shout out to the linemen. Balls of steel. They're down here turning everybody's power back on and shit. And
it's actually cool for once in Florida. It's 68 degrees right now.
Yeah.
I'm super happy about that.
El Nino shut off the power but turned on the AC. But it was hot as fuck today. And it's going to get hot as fuck again. And we might get hit with another hurricane.
Yeah.
Either way, thanks for joining us on Tuesday. And because that's when we drop these every Tuesday now.
Every Tuesday.
We're actually on point.
Yeah.
And we'll be back next Tuesday. And the Tuesday after that, 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 and the Tuesday after that. I'm BareAss.
I'm the Bomb.
This is the Fat Hog Podcast.